Hello everybody and welcome along to, well, first of all, Happy New Year. 2021's upon us. I hope you're all still with us. We are here with RRLeagues.com as always. Series 46, DTM 2020, well 2021 but using 2020 cars. Whole new series, 8 races. As always, up here in the commentary box with me is Ethan Keeley. Ethan, Happy New Year, mate.
Yeah, Happy New Year, Martin. How are you getting on?
Yes, mate. Seems like a year ago since we've done this.
And we're already with the jokes.
I still got it wrong. I was supposed to say it last year, but I still got it wrong.
Hey, you can't have everything.
I've had 5-6 weeks to get it right. I still can't do it.
Yeah, at least we're not at an oval. Yes, welcome everybody. What is it, 7 kilometres for Spa Francorchamps? The classic track everybody knows.
Indeed. Only 12 minutes qualifying for these guys. Remember in the GT3 series last time we had a bit longer qualifying, but it's only 12 minutes, so they're all going to be pushed to get on track and get a lap in. And it's a 55-minute race following qualifying, so it's not going to exit. Oh, and we've already got one going off there.
That looks like...
as we get to the liveries.
Yes, interesting thing about liveries for this season, because people are going to love this. Basically, because of the number of liveries, we were allowed 3 per colour or something like that. So teammates are all using the same liveries. However, there might be other people with the same livery as well. So we've got stuff to keep on top of that. We'll try and make sure that we're not misinforming anybody about that. But you will notice, particularly the number 16 car, Team Overlock's car seems to be a favourite amongst people. Only 2 here today, but I think we've got about 4 on the sign-up sheet, so it might get a little bit confusing.
Is that car 51, the green and white car we're looking at?
Car number 16 was the one that had, like, at one point it had 6 entries, but thankfully the guys at Bad Haas Racing, those of you that watch the GT Masters streams will remember them, Dan Badcock and Max Haas, often nearer the pointy end, come the end of the races at the very least. But yeah, they've gladly swapped for us. But yeah, the other one is the number 51. I think we've got about 4 of them. And really helpfully, there's a BMW number 11, which is also green and white. The key thing to watch out for is the bonnets or hood if you're in the States. The Audi has a green bonnet, the BMW has a white bonnet. So that's kind of the quick way to tell.
I think you might be finding that you were watching the racing in this series and the commentators might be which might be a nice thing as being quiet, but we might just be actually watching it with you and trying to work out what you're watching as much as us. So you just watch Max Haas coming around here. These are all guys all about to start a lap. They've done their warm-up, I think, 2 minutes around the track, so they're all out on their first fast lap. So Max Haas in that blue and white. It is BMW, isn't it? Yeah, I couldn't see from the distance there. Blue and white, being M5, I guess? M6? M4.
M4.
And the RS5 is the Audi, I guess. Yeah, there you go, on the bonnet, RS5.
Yes, the M4 and the RS5 has been for about 4 years for both. Well, 4 years for both of them, I think. And then the RS5 has been used since about 2012, so...
I know there were talks about Audi bringing the R8, like a down or upgraded, downgraded version of the R8 into, just to keep it in production, because they were thinking of like stopping production of the R8 because there was no need to produce it anymore, but unless they were going to revise DTM. So,
which they are going to do now, when Audi is confirmed with, I believe, Phoenix Racing coming into the new DTM, and we'll be using the R8 GT3 in that.
There we go.
Very successful.
But as it is, we've got 2 manufacturers, BMW and Audi.
Not much difference between the two from what I've been hearing. Audi may be slightly faster in a straight line and also a bit safer, is word on the street. But at the moment on the leaderboard and in our server, as actually he goes 0.2 faster than his leaderboard time, Damien de Grassa, he's been spotted doing 202.3s in the leaderboard. He's obviously just done a 202.1, but he is actually down to a 201.6 on the leaderboard just this evening. in our server. So honestly, we're expecting him on pole. We're almost expecting him to soft meal it from GT3. However, last time he was here at RRLeagues, which was a good couple of years ago, he was quite inconsistent. I'm sure he's got better in the last 2 years, but he is potentially fast between crashes. So we'll see how that plays out for him.
I mean, you can see the cars are quite twitchy as they're driving around. These cars have no ABS and no traction control, so they are an absolute handful. So expect plenty of incidents in this. This isn't your GT3, well, I was going to say on rails, but the way I drive them, I still manage to get them to spin 180 degrees every time. But these have no traction control, no ABS, and yeah, they're a challenge to say the least. So if you can get a good time out of these, then you're doing really well.
Because of the brake horsepower figures they're putting out, because they're about 5.5, 600 horsepower, and the aero that they have, they're actually on LMP2 pace. So these are, you know, forget DTM and the middle bit standing for touring. These aren't touring cars, these aren't even GT cars, these are prototypes in terms of lap time. So these guys are running LMP2 cars with no traction control and no ABS, which normally LMP2 has traction.
And if you think your 3 Series with 190 horsepower has got everything stuck on there, and people still have trouble getting those to stay on the road, so you can imagine what these are like. But you know, these are a whole different kettle of fish.
Absolutely. We haven't got long in qualifying, so I will just go over a few things for the race, because we're expecting it to be fairly nose to tail.
Well, you know all the rules, mate. I'm just here for the eye candy, so you crack on.
Absolutely. You are the eye candy, mate.
Well, kind of, if you say so, mate.
Anyway, yeah, so it's going to be a 55-minute race. We are expecting, or you will have to do a stop for tyres around halfway, and there will be no mandatory pit stop in this series, but obviously they will have to make one. In terms of the pit stop strategy, it's literally just tyres. Because of how slow these things are to refuel, you see a massive incident at the source there, both guys escaping before anybody can plough into them, which is good. Yeah, because of the refuel rate on these things, it's not economical to take fuel at the stop, so they'll just be taking tyres. Should be about 110 litres for the cars. Maximum fuel tank of 120. So some of them will be running full fuel and taking the little bit of a hit and being a bit safer. Some of them will be running that a little bit more to limit, as we see Damien's teammate in the Vivid Racing BMW still 1.2 seconds off, but those guys locking out the front row at the moment, which is good to see for those guys. We can see Damien not on a faster lap at the moment. Obviously DTM uses some unique push to pass and DRS rules as well. So DRS will be you'll get a number of activations equal to half the estimated race laps. So we're estimating 27 laps, that should be 14 activations. And you can use up to 3 a lap. So you can run through all of them in, well, 5 laps. As soon as you use 1, you use 3. So if you're going to open DRS at any point, you need to make sure you use the other 2 to get the use out of it. Otherwise, you get to keep all 3 for whatever lap you're available. It won't be available on the first lap. Not available to the race leader, which is determined at each track sector, not just the start-finish line like it usually is. And DRS is also available regardless of the gap to the car in front of you. So as long as you are not the leader, you will be able to use it. Doesn't matter whether you're on the nose of the guy in front or 20 minutes behind him. They will also be using push to pass, so you get a maximum of 24 activations. So that there'll be 3 laps where they're not allowed to use it, and one of those will be the first lap. Again, not available to the race leader depending on track sector, and also available regardless of the gap in front. So yeah, quite a few technical rules there. They've all got obviously systems in the car that tell them how many they've got and what they're allowed to use and if they're allowed to use it at the moment. So there's no chance of cheating from them like we saw in the actual season earlier, well, last summer. Obviously, Audi getting in a bit of hot water over that one. But yeah, should be interesting as the guys manage fuel and tyres and trying to get these things around a lap even.
Just watching Ralph Riley. I've been watching Tom Cohonen a few times. He's been on a really quick one and just come across some traffic and it slowed him down a little bit. So there's a little bit more time in Tom's car. But as you said earlier, Damien de Grasse is out there at least over a second now ahead of Pavlicek. So that could be, like you said earlier, another Stoffel moment.
One guy that is out of position at the moment, at least, is Magnus Smedegaard. Teammates with his compatriot Tom Cohonen. You see, actually, he's on a better lap at the moment, just about to cross the line now, and that puts him up to P4 directly behind Cohonen. So we've got a Vivid Racing 1-2 and a TSR Team Sweden 3-4. So those two teams locking out the first two rows.
Fastest lap there for de Grasse. He adds another 1/10.5 to his fastest time, goes into 2:01s, just 2:01.966 there. That looks like to be the limit of de Grasse's kind of pace, is a 2:01.5 with a qualifying lap time. But the other guys are still a good second behind that pace. But yeah, you're right, good lap there from Smedegaard, puts him in 4th position.
Absolutely, like I said, we were going to kind of expect to see him up there a bit more. Mora, not out of position, new to RRLeagues for this season, but not out of position. He was doing very well in the practice earlier, so we're expecting that to be a suitable place for him on the grid. Then we've got
Simon or Simone? I'm guessing it's Simon.
Simon, I believe. I need to ask him, really.
We need to get that right, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah, then you got Haas, Camaletto, Arella, Castle, Manavlovic. You see the times come up on the board. So yeah, de Grasse, Pavlicek, Cohonen, Smedegaard, Mora, Haas, Camaletto, Arella, Castle and Manavlovic rounding up the top 10. He'll be hoping for a better season after a few incidents in the last one. If you'd like to carry us through to the end of the grid, Martin?
So you've got Magyar in 11th, Andre Bergsma down in 12th. Expect that to see that come through. Jim Britton in 13th. Fabian Gage, remember him from the GT3 series. Good pace in there, but down in 14th in qualifying today. Old hand Simon Fillingham in 15th with Sergio Rachuia. We need to find that one out as well. Marcel Lecken down in 17th, Britton Clive in 18th, David Dorr in 19th, and I didn't see the 20th, but we will get that in a minute. I suppose you should take this moment to congratulate you on your promotion within RRLeagues, Ethan.
Before you do that, yes, yeah. I've been promoted. It's really an awful idea. I don't know why anybody agreed to it.
Didn't get my vote, got to be honest.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. I didn't get mine. Yeah, just a quick note. One of the things that was included in the December update that just obviously came out in December for RRLeagues is false start prevention. We are running with that off. So once this 25 seconds counts down, they will be free to go at please. They will obviously... I've pressed the wrong button there, haven't I? They will obviously take a penalty if they do jump the start, but they are now able to. So be prepared for potentially people seeing that. Seeing them jump the start going into
and you still have launch control, but as you say, there's no traction control. Is that right?
Yep, that is correct. So they will have traction control for the start, and they will be able to use what's it called? And they are underway.
Oh, we've already got an accident at the back there. So de Grasse gets through turn 1. Pavlicek on his inside there gets through in 2nd. Cohonen 3rd, Smedegaard 4th, Haas into 5th, Mora 6th. We'll just go with some of the guys at the back there, or we can see some incidents at the back. Looks like Rizov is off there, Schilling. Just getting a bit wild there through Radion and Eau Rouge. So we'll go back to the leaders.
And they're 2 and 3 wide into Le Combe already.
You can see de Grasse weaving as well, trying to warm his tyres up, surprisingly.
Well, that's something that obviously is new in R3 with the December update, is these tyres take a long time to come up to temperature these days, and in some cars you're never getting it there. So yeah, expect if they've got a little bit of room, maybe a little bit of weaving just to kind of keep that temp up.
These cars do munch tyres though, from what I hear, so they will have to stop today, if not for fuel, then definitely for tyres.
of tyres. It'll be around halfway through, because it's the only way to make the second set of tyres last.
Good camera work there from R3. That's a nice angle.
We see the leaders going into Fanias, all keeping it very civil at the front, kind of half a second gaps between everybody. Though Camaletto clambering all over the back of Carcel down into Campos and through Stavolo. So expect maybe a bit of a run from Jack on the main straight.
So the first two are away and gone really from Cahonen. De Grasse leading Pavlicek by half a second. Cahonen's already a second and a half behind. Smedegard, Haas, Mora, Cassel and Camaletto, they're the two you're watching there. Cassel and Camaletto. Camaletto just looking down the inside there as he comes up to the bus stop. Switches it, but no room there, so that won't happen. Then you've got, is that Manavlovic going wide there?
Geed going wide.
Geed, was it?
And rejoining. Might have, won't have a drive-through for that. Nothing's popped up on our screen. And now we can see above the names, we've got that push to pass. Things that will let us know when people have got it. We sadly can't put it up on the tree for you to let you know who's got push to pass and who's using DRS and stuff like that. We can track it there though.
So you can see Pavlicek there just behind De Grasse. Those two away and gone. Cahonen I'd say just behind him, second and a half behind him. He's got Smedegard right behind him. Another second then back to Max Haas there. Simon Mora just behind him. Cassel and Camaletto, you saw that battle. They've now pulled along Arella and Manavlovic in that same battle. Geed down to 11th after that error at the bus stop, followed by Britain, Magyar, Chua. I need to find out. I'm just going to call him Sergio for now. Clive Britton, Mullman, Bergsma and Dorr in a good battle here back in the midfield.
And Metcalf and Locken very much on the back of that one as well, with Valentino not that far behind. Again, we've got this classic thing from GT3 of a battle pack of 8, well, probably about 10 cars there, isn't it? About 15 cars.
Yeah, 20. Keep going.
Between 15th and, between 14th and 30th, all at the moment within half a second of each other or so. These guys, again, great respect between the guys at RRLeagues, and only the one spinner filling them at the start. So obviously not his day. However, we'll have great respect between these guys, and they'll know the score. A lot of them here have, let's say, raced many times before. And Pavlicek going for a bit of a move on De Grasse, nearly goes for the inside of the bus stop, decides against it in the end, giving the Canadian his a little bit of leeway. Really good that they're Canadian and Polish and chosen the red and white livery. I very much like that. I'm very happy
noticed
about
that.
it.
Good shout, yeah. So Pavlicek there goes through La Source, down straight now towards Eau Rouge and Radion. You can see the grass there's pulled back out another about half a second there. Does he lift here? You can see a slight lift, big lift actually, yeah. They may be downforce driven, but that wasn't happening through there.
And coming up through Eau Rouge now, you've got Castle, Camaletto, Arella and Manavlovic all duking it out. Looks like Jack's got a little bit of a run using the DRS. Yeah, using the DRS down this part just to gain that little bit more time. And yeah, just slots in behind. Oh, actually gets past Carcel. Carcel manages to slot in ahead of Arella there.
So good pass by Camaletto there, ahead of Cassel, Arella just behind them, and Manavlovic in the yellow car you can see there, yellow BMW. That's Camaletto through. Let's see if he can hunt down Max Haas.
Oh, looks like Bergsma and Dorr have had an incident. Not sure if that is together or separately, but those two now behind Fillingham, who obviously, like we said, spinner at the start, so those two not having the best of starts.
Yeah, Dorr, and you can see their Bergsma down in 30th. They are well off the pace down near the back of the field, as you say, with Fillingham further just ahead of them. So, but up front, we've still got De Grasse, Pavlicek, 3.5 seconds then back to the Smedegard-Cahonen battle. Moore is just another second or so behind. There you go, you can just see him in the background in the red car there with Max Haas just behind him. Another 3.5 seconds back, then you've got Camaletto, who you just saw pass Cassell. Cassell's with Arella and Manovic, but we'll just jump to that battle because there's a bit of a train going on there between those three.
Yeah, absolutely, and all of them trying to find the inside of each other as the 16 of Manovic sticks up the inside of Arella. These guys old hands and old friends, and might just find that the BMW getting stuck behind the Audi here, that's really helpful. I'm very sorry about that. As Ralph looks like he's just about kept Manovic as they go ahead and zonta Cassell, and Arella coming out ahead of that one with Manovic behind, and Cassell now being shuffled to the back of the pack there. So all changed for positions 8, 9 and 10.
So yeah, Arella 8th, Manovic 9th, Cassell now right up the rear of Manovic. Going to have a look at him as he goes through, see if he can get him up straight into...
Look on.
So I was just looking at push to pass. When it says 0, that means he's got none on this lap, or
That means he's used it.
Whoa!
Ooh,
just got it wide there.
And hopefully he won't ping out. Oh, that slowed up both of them, and now Britain looking for a way past on Cassell. So yeah,
Manovic in the wall.
Yeah, it was Manovic at the wall. He's rejoined, so hopefully he won't have too much damage from that.
So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars all coming out, about 3 wide there at one stage.
And this is what we love at RRLeagues, isn't it?
It is. So you've got Cassell, Britain, as you said, just behind him, Jim Britton. This is the front view from the front of Jim's car. You can see
I believe
Cassell.
Babcock had an incident as well. He was going for an overtake at one point. He's now dropped back in the field.
And if you look back from Jim's car, this is the view. Look at them all fighting there, 4 of them. The leader of those guys is Dusan Magar, Fabian Guide, Manovic recovering, and Sergio just behind him. Oh, that's tight. And it's going to get tighter really as they come to the bus stop.
They managed to keep out of it through, keep out of each other through
3 wide.
Oh, 3 wide. Oh.
We're going to be saying that a lot, I think, this championship, aren't we?
Yeah.
So you can see Manovic just making it through there, I think.
The thing is, we've actually got some really interesting, as we're 3, 4, 18,000 wide.
Oh, bit of a bomb there through, but he's made it stick, whoever that was. Was that Jim Britton?
That was Guide. Guide coming through in the Shell.
It was.
In the Shell car. And,
we'll get these liveries by race 8.
Maybe. This is the other problem with it, is we've got like they all look so similar as well. You've got red and white cars and red and white and yellow cars and blue cars, and I'm not a fan of this particular rule set because of the liveries, put it that way.
And that's a lovely... it was almost a lovely move there from Guide round the outside of Manovic. Gives Manovic the place back after taking the shortcut over the chicane there. Great racing this. This is fantastic to watch.
And they're just not stopping, are they?
No.
I was going to say, one of the good things that we've got is we've had more strength and depth appear in RRLeagues over the last couple of weeks preparing for this championship and stuff. And some of the guys who were like Guide, Cassell, those sorts of guys who were new in GT3 now have all raced each other for 3 months. So they're even more confident running side by side, as well as you've got the old hands mixed in as well, like Clive Britton up there in 12th. I believe he didn't even qualify properly. He was saying he wasn't feeling very well and had to take some painkillers. So he wanted just a nice relaxing start, and he's he's buggered that up. He's definitely not got one of those.
Looks like David Dawes retired as well, unfortunately. He's out of the race.
That is a shame. But yeah, obviously as the guys get used to the cars even more and all that sort of stuff, they're just going to become tighter and tighter. It's crazy to think that they're this comfortable running this close at, round 1, lap, whatever.
You saw there Sergio and Dusan getting a little bit leery as they went into the bus stop. Kept it together though. Places remained the same. And come up to the source. Another look down the inside there. Not going to happen. Pushes him a little bit wide on the exit there. Arrella just keeps his position, tucks back in.
And this is not somewhere we're used to seeing Arrella at all, is it?
No, absolutely not.
The last time we saw Arrella mid-pack was because of reverse grids, which obviously we're not running this championship, only running one event per.
You can see there the DRS flashing, so he's got the DRS open just to get close up to this battle. And keep with them, really. The gap back to Rossi is 7 seconds, so this is the group. And then it splits back to, I say, Rossi's in 16th, then you've got a battle there with the next, it's about 7 or 8 of them then. Bit wide there from Sergio's, he got a bit of a layer on.
Badcock and Schilling exchanging blows down the Camel Straight as well. Badcock up the inside of Schilling into Lecom and just being nipped out there with Schilling on the outside, and these two have been at it for about a lap now as well. And we're seeing that same thing that we saw last time out of just these little, not necessarily the whole field nose to tail, spreading out a little bit because of instance, because of just general pace, but you get these battle packs of 5-6 drivers that are competing with each other constantly, and that's what we love to see, and we will see throughout all 8 rounds of this championship without a doubt.
So the first, with the exception of Moore and Haas, these two battling up in 5th and 6th. The front 10 are pretty much spread out, about a second between most of them, but apart from the front 3 where you've got 2 seconds from De Grasse to Pavlicek and then about 5.5 seconds back to Smedegaard. But the main battle is that battle between Arrella, Magyar, you see slimy through there, Sergio just in front of them, and Clive Britton as well. You can see Britton there, the 25 car, looking on the inside there of Guide.
We're only on lap 7. Tyres will start to be going off, believe it or not. This is you kind of hit a point now where your lap times will start to subside, so it will be very much about who has been patient in the first few laps, because they will reap the benefits later on in the stint, and we will see them possibly being able to give themselves a slightly shorter second stint.
Clive was quick through Eau Rouge there, very quick. Guide protecting the inside as they come. Yeah. Oh.
I'm gonna say the inside actually most of the time is not the line into Lecom. You want to be on that outer line so that you can carry the speed through and carry it all the way through Lecom. See, so I'm looking at Bindesley, Wood, Metcalf, and all of them running through Lecom, and again similar thing, just one guy going up the inside and getting stuck.
So you can see Mora and Haas. Max all over the back of Mora. Has been for a lap and a half or so.
Has been.
He has been, yes. Oh, God.
Every time.
This should be pay-per-view, this, shouldn't it, to be fair? It really should.
We'd make a lot less money.
So here comes Mora down through Longchamp as they come to the bus stop. Is he protecting the inside? He is. Max looking down the outside. Then swapping.
Mora coming across.
Oh!
Contact. On the edge of reason there.
Well, they were both weaving, I think, looking for a slipstream coming down there. So I don't know if the one movement was quite on there, but as it is, Mora stays ahead of Haas, 5th and 6th. You've still got that battle back with Clive Britton, Guide. You can see them all there.
Adrian might be out of the race here. His wheels aren't turning. Yeah, he's had to. Oh no, my bad. He is going. He was stuck for a moment on the curb. I thought he might be a bit beached. He's chasing Britton down into Eau Rouge.
Clive just got a little bit titchy as he came out of the hairpin at the source there. He just wanted to get on the gas to try and give him a run behind Guide, but unfortunately just got a little bit leery. Here we go.
Up ahead, Minavovich around the outside of Britton doesn't quite do it into Lecom. Contact between the two, not really. You see Britton actually completing the pass around the outside there on Guide. So 2 battles there within close succession, but one going the way of the driver ahead and one the way of the driver behind. So
Clive Britton up to 11th now, past Guide. if Guy can stick with him and they can stop battling and again try and get onto the back of Cassell, who's about 2 seconds up the road, with the other Jim Britton battling with Manavlovic, as you said before.
And Pelicano has called it quits as well for today. Again, new to RRLeagues today. Obviously, having a bit of problems with these DTM cars and the. I was
going to say it's not exactly the rookie series to drop into, is it? DTM 2020, but there you go.
We don't really have a rookie season this
time. No,
that's
fair. That's fair.
You'd almost prefer these, as we see Haas going around the outside of Mora into the bus stop, not doing that either this time. Both of them stamping on the throttle out of it, and
it's funny. I see that red and white car, and I think that's Haas, but it's not, is it? Yeah. Haas is in the car behind in the blue and white. For those of you that are watching last season, Haas and Dan Badcock driving the black and red Audis, obviously swapped this time over into BMWs and a different colour scheme, just to make it easy for me and Ethan.
They love us. They love us, really. See Guy trying to go around.
Oh, look at that through Eau Rouge. That was a bit leery.
That's
so Mora's just ahead. There's Haas in his slipstream. Pulls out. Mora just tightening that up on there a little bit there. I'm not sure where Haas is going to look to get through here. You can see Mora's making that car twice as wide as it should be.
And on the straight we've got Guy, Sergio and Clive all battling it out, all weaving at each other. Bit of contact there on the back of Guy's car. Looks like they've all kept position though. They were 3 wide, 2 wide, 4 wide at one point. And Rizov behind making a move. Oh no, not making a move. Backing out of a move on Bindesley. Oh, not on Bindesley, sorry. On Lockham.
So there's Arella. Dusan Magyar just ahead of him, and then Sergio, and then the battle between Guide and Britton. So these 5 are pretty much clear, 10 seconds clear of Rossi, who's got Andy Simmons just behind him. Looking there through Pouant. Simmons just tucking in behind Rossi.
Should we have a guess at who's weaving at each other going into the bus stop? Yeah, that would be Haas and Mora again, going for it. Haas just sticking behind, not going for it this time, looking to potentially make something the exit. Had to slow up there a little bit, I expect. Just waiting for Mora to get out of it. And,
do you reckon Haas is going to want to get past him and get through, or do you reckon it's a time for an early pit stop and see if he can jump him that way?
You won't hit this early. You wouldn't dare. You wouldn't dare pit this early. Using the push to pass on the way down to Eau Rouge, possibly the best place on the track to use it. Obviously, using push to pass to get up to speed out of the slow turn.
How long do you get that push to pass for? Is that until you brake, or is that like a 10-second job? Or
it'll be a cool down thing.
Yeah.
It'll be a set time limit, like it is in all series that use it. It's kind of like normally it's like a 10-second activation.
So it's not like your DRS where you brake and that's what deactivates it. You do get your 10 seconds of push of extra power.
You get your whatever time it is, and then that's it.
So Haas still battling with Simon Mora.
And we've got more fighting going down into Lecom. We've got Guide, Magyar, Arella and Sergio nose to tail through Lecom, all managing to hold station. And Simmons now past Rossi. Looks like he's going to keep that position into Lecom.
Patient driving there from Andy Simmons. Gets past Rossi. You saw him nice and clean, just sat behind him for a couple of laps there, and eventually got past him down the Kemmel Straight. Back to the Mora-Haas battle.
Badcock has called it quits as well. I know he wasn't feeling too comfortable in the car, so maybe not the most surprising thing to see him drop out of the race, which is unfortunate.
So left or right, which one are you going to choose? Dives down the right. Doesn't get the move. can see there just how late they have to get on the power before the car's actually straight, otherwise they will end up going sideways. We'll stay with Haas as we go down through the source and down the straight here towards Eau Rouge.
Rather looking around the out, nearly tried to go around the outside of Magyar into bus stop, but nothing doing there.
Look at that, no lift straight through that, it's all full power straight through there. And now he's in the slipstream, here we go. Moore's going to drink right, is he? No, he's not. They're going to bump, and they do bump. And they do bump again.
Haas very much returning serve through the com there, after Moore squeezing him at the apex, and looks like that is going to be status quo for another lap.
I think these two could be at it all race by the looks of it.
Hopefully they're at it all season.
So that's M2. We've got the Magyar, Arella. So, someone's gone off. Is that Magyar? It is.
That is actually Magyar. You said Magyar as he ploughed into the wall.
Have I got my commentator's curse already?
Yeah, I was going to say, we're back, ladies and gentlemen.
Back with literally a bang.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, sorry, Dusan, you become the first victim of the commentary box syndrome this year.
Actually, I would like to think that it was Simon. You mentioned my promotion before the race started and he span off the line.
Okay.
It's probably Simon that got it first.
Let's give him the award anyway, shall we?
Oh, and Haas has made a mistake coming through Stavolo 2 and is in the wall. That's allowed Camiletto past. As he's recovering, he's going to get passed by Manavlovic and possibly by Britain as well. Jim. Jim might have to stay behind into the bus stop. Not sure what happened there. Looks like he might have just got injured. A little bit wide. He does look very injured. That front splitter is not fully attached. This might well be boxed for some repairs. Yeah. That's going to have to be. Hopefully he boxes for repairs and doesn't decide that that's going to be it for Haas.
Did you see that on your feed? Was that coming together, or did Haas just lose it as you went through?
I saw the I reacted to the timing screen going.
Right. Okay. Let's hope that was just a. I say hope it was a mistake. Let's. It's not a
Please go petition R3 to get us a rewind function.
A replay would be lovely, wouldn't it?
We desperately need that. Looks like he's just come in for.
Has he got a puncture maybe as he went into the wall? Anyway, here's Arella, Guide and Sergio behind him.
Ooh, there's an incident that saw somebody in the Valentino Rossi got it wrong out of the source in that group that was coming through as Haas was leaving the pit lane and spun to the inside. Looks like he might have a bit of suspension damage weaving through Eau Rouge.
So the last place you want to get damage on this circuit. You've got another 2, 3, 4 miles to go before you get into the pits. Let's give a bit of love to the guy at the front, Damien de Grasse. Not the fastest lap so far. In fact, he has got the fastest lap. My apologies. A 2:04.1. Pavlicek a 2:04.2, just behind him. So de Grasse already lapping some of the back markers there. You can see. De Grasse is through. Pavlicek about 2.5 seconds. Oh, and that's someone gone spinning round there at the back.
That'll be Bas Schilstra.
Yes, Schilstra up there at the back, one of the back markers. So that's de Grasse. You can see Pavlicek there in the background. He's just coming
long way back to PSR's Sweden duo of Magnus and Tom Smedegaard Korhonen.
So Pavlicek can just see de Grasse there. You can see him going up there through Eau Rouge and through Radion. Just so you know, Eau Rouge is the right-hander, Radion is the left-hander at the top there. People sometimes get those two mixed up, but Eau Rouge is the first one, Radion's the one where the accidents happen.
Depends how fast you go, and sometimes it happens at the King. Oh, we got Manavlovic in for his pit stop. So first one to blink, Manavlovic. was running some interesting strategies in GT3. Maybe this is one of them. This is about when you want to stop. You want to be stopping ideally between 30 and 20 minutes left to go on the clock. That'll be about halfway. And doing a little bit of weaving as he just stamps on the power and he hasn't got much traction left. Bergsma also in the pits in his Audi.
Bit late on the brakes there from Sergio. Just climbs up to the back of Fabien Guide's BMW. So we go up towards Rivage.
Rossi in the pits as well, possibly because of that damage. Although it looks like it's still tracking iffy, so it looks like that was just a tyre change and no damage recovered. So that thing is still going to be a bit of a bugger to get around the course.
So where are the battles on track? Well, this is about the closest you've got, and you've got obviously Max Haas, Max after that incident into the pits, back out again down in 15th. But apart from that, I feel pretty much spread out now.
That might actually be good timing for Max, although it was a few minutes ago. It might be that he could go to the end, maybe, if he's really kind on his tyres. Pitted about, what, 7-8 minutes ago? Possible, but you wouldn't want to do it. Might have been forced into an early pit stop there and just going to be nursing his tyres at the end, so we'll see how that works out for him.
And there's no tyre limit, so if he does eat through these tyres, he can come in and stop again. Not that he'd want to, but he can come in and stop again for more.
Yeah, R3 doesn't have tyre limits. You can bolt on as many as you want. As we can see, Sergio Racchio going into the pits behind Guide. Here's our third pit caller. Sadly, the pit counter isn't working on the race director, so I'm not sure who has pitted and who hasn't. However, we know that Britain has pitted. Jim just dropped off the jacks. Rolling now as Mnadovich and the other Briton go through. And he should be fighting Haas on exit.
Who's that, Britain?
Yeah. Here's the black car in front of the battle that you're watching.
So you're right, Jim's out about 2 seconds ahead of Max. You see Manojlovic just... Oh! Big accident from Manojlovic there. Through Radion. And that doesn't... Oh, well, I can say it didn't like it was salvageable. I don't think in real life it would have been, but he's managed to get it going again. And that's climbing the hill, but that will need quite a bit of work. As you just see there, Rick Binnersley gets a drive through for trouncing the pit lane.
Yeah, it's about 30-second pit lane here as well, so that's it's a big penalty. See Locken all over the back of Sergio. After obviously Sergio's pitted, it's going to take him a couple laps to get up to temperature, so it might be that Marcel just bide his time a little bit and then get through. We've seen Mnadovich, although he had that big incident, climbing all over the back of Metcalf.
I was just going to say, to get that car to even drive in a straight line is going to be something, but he's actually challenging Greg Metcalf here.
And we've had a change for the lead because De Grasser needed to pit. Let's see where that's going to shuffle him out to. So Magnus actually managing to come out. Sorry, not Magnus, sorry. Damien managed to come out in P4, so those four fully broken away now. That at least the leader had a pit stop over P4.
That's more. Is that more in the pits?
More in the pits, yeah. Castle in the pits. As you see Bashilstra as well driving in the pit lane, or drive through first, speeding in the pit lane. It is tricky. This a lot of people, and Jack Camaletto as well, and Bashilstra another one.
I think it comes up twice for some reason. I saw that earlier with one earlier. Yeah, there you go.
Camaletto confirmation again. Speeding in the pit lane.
So you can see Max has already closed down the gap to Jim. That's not Jim in front of him, that's Camaletto.
Metcalf, Locken and Simmons all in the pits as well.
So I thought it could be a good battle. Britain, Camaletto, Haas.
Metcalf drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lanes as well. Lots of penalties today. Obviously, because of how you come into this pit lane, it's really tight, so you kind of want to, you need to slow down to get into it, and then you want to kind of get on the power again before the line, and clearly that just catches some guys out without the ABS and stuff. Who are you on board with Haas?
Max Haas's car there is a bit dented up, but he's chasing Camaletto down. Jack's got to stop and fetch speed in the pit lane. He's got to come in again. Max will get a flashed up on him, but whether he'll know, I don't know. The screen's frozen. There we go.
Binnersley, another drive-through. So that is the drive-through for speeding in the pit lane on the when he comes in for the drive-through that he got for speeding in the pit lane. Thanks, Rick. I really needed that one. As we've seen Magnus into the pits, Radek must be in the pits as well. Although Radek from P2, again, penalty, speeding in the pit lane. So he comes out in front of De Grassa, who had to come in for a drive-through, and Magnus with a drive-through as well.
Wow.
We've got De Grassa, who was in the lead of the race, comes in, gets a drive-through. He's now fine, he's cleared his. Magnus came in from P4, from P3, he's had a penalty. Radek from P2 had a penalty. So that has meant that Radek and Magnus are as they were before the pit stops, but they both have drive-throughs to serve. Damien at the moment between those two, having served a drive-through already. And we've got a Rella who's been in the pits and he is out again, so nothing for him on his time through the pits.
They were all so quick there, I couldn't keep up with the number of people getting speed-ins there, so we'll have to see how this shakes out. Haas up to 7th. Remember, he was battling with Mora. He's currently 7 seconds up the road. Mora has stopped, and he can get a drive-through. Smedegaard, Pavlicek do have drive-throughs, is that right?
Okay, yeah. So Korhonen, no stop, no drive-through at the moment because he hasn't even attempted to stop.
Yeah.
Pavlicek has stopped, has currently got a drive-through to serve. De Grassa has stopped, has served a drive-through. Smedegaard has stopped, needs a drive-through.
Right.
We're waiting on the drive-through.
There you go.
And then Mora, I believe, well, Mora will have
Mora's
stopped.
clear, isn't he?
And he is clear of all penalties, so that is genuine for position.
Yeah.
See, Fillingham is in the pit, so he's managing to push it nearly as long as Tom Korhonen. Tom doing a fantastic job there. Obviously been saving his tyres. I was chatting to him before the race as he just darts into the pit lane now. And I know he was saying from his testing that you can quite easily... Oh, that might be a bit tight on the pit lane. Looks like, actually, from the speeds that I'm seeing, Andy Simmons drive through in the pit lane, it might be that actually the limiter doesn't stop you from going over the 80k here. And some drivers being caught out by that, so might not be pushing on entry. You see Damien de Grassa, Pavlicek going through. Pavlicek going through on Korhonen again, but through the pit lane because he's serving his drive-through. Korhonen's out, so no drive-through for him. So we are as you were. It doesn't look like... Where's Korhonen?
Radek, he's in 4th, just coming through a Rouge there. Pavlicek still had to serve his...
No, Pavlicek has served his drive-through.
Already?
Yep.
Oh, of
He
course,
passed...
yeah, because De Grasse had one as well, didn't he? Of course, yes. That's why
Yeah.
there's only 6 seconds between them. I get you. Okay.
Yeah. He passed Tom in the pit lane, but obviously he wasn't stopping at the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So Magnus is the one that worries me because I think he hasn't... I didn't see his name flash up there, so I don't think he's cleared that drive-through.
Well, his last lap was a 2:24, so I wonder if that was the pit lap or if that was the drive-through lap. I'm guessing that was a drive-through lap. Must have been.
I think that was a pit lap because if you look at Radek, his last one was a 2:17.
Yeah, so he haven't lost... Yeah, okay.
Maybe. We will see. I'm pretty sure because it was only
That
about
sounds
3
like a
seconds.
cop-out to me.
There was only about 3 seconds between Magnus and Tom. They weren't that far apart that he could have taken through a... I don't think he could have taken a drive-through and stayed ahead. I don't believe, but we will see in a minute.
Okay, so we'll just watch to see if Smedegaard here from 3rd has served his drive-through or not. If he hasn't, we'll dive into the pits this time. If he has, he'll probably drive straight through. You do get 3 laps to complete it, but most of the time, unless you're in clear air like this, like Magnus is, you've got no idea where he's going to come out, obviously. And there he goes.
Thank you.
So Smedegaard goes through. He'll lose 3rd position to Kohonen.
Those two in the same team, obviously, so that's not a crying shame for him. However, he will lose 3rd to the man just coming out, or sorry, lose 4th to the man just coming through now, Simone Mora. See Smedegaard drop down to 5th as he leaves the pit lane. Come on, Magnus, don't flash up on our screen.
So Mora's going down there.
Get it right
and there
this
goes
time.
Magnus. So you can see there's about a 3-4 second gap by the time he gets up to speed between him and Mora. And then you've got Britton, Haas closing down Jim Britton. God, Max has had a busy race this time. He always seems to be up somebody's backside, doesn't he?
Oh, constantly. We saw it in GT3. Obviously, Bathurst. Go watch that one again. I don't care if you've watched it 4 times over the winter, waiting for us to come back. Go watch it again. Fantastic race. But yeah, Haas in a titanic battle in that one. And looking to be so again as he goes around the outside of Britain, just about keeping it on the road, and just about Britain keeping him honest, and both of them being very honest there through Malmedy, and just clearing enough that Britain won't have the gall to go through into Rivage. And behind them you've got Cassel, Manavlovic and Arella all nose to tail to nose. Again, the two.
Manolovic's mechanics very busy this race. Let's just go on board with him, just see if he's had that damage repaired or if he's still driving. No, it's still a broken car. After that accident earlier, the way he went round and round, you'd think it was shaped like a banana, but it's still drivable, and not only that, it's drivable and competitive. Looks on the inside here of Cassel.
Cassel's going to run him not wide through the second part, but making him go around the outside of the second part of Fania, and Manavlovic taking that position and keeping it through Campos.
So Britain sticking with Haas here. He's not letting him get away. Oh, little speculative hello. Not quite. Just lights the tyres up as he goes through the bus stop. But Max is not getting away with this one. Jim's keeping honest.
And in the background we can see Manavlovic round. Just to make sure he doesn't have an incident with anybody. And we see Kohonen past Pavlicek. Where is Pavlicek? Pavlicek had an incident through Radion.
Yeah.
Through Radion. Spinning off to the right hand side there and collecting the barrier. So he now is down in P5. So we've got De Grassa, Kohonen, Mora, Smedegaard, Pavlicek is your top 5. Britain rounding out the top 6 with Haas right up his tail going into Lecom, Arella, Castle, Camaletto rounding out your top 10.
So De Grasse, after all of that, is now 16 seconds ahead of Kohonen. He's kind of got this wrapped up now. Kohonen 5 seconds ahead of Mora, who finds himself in 3rd now after that incident from Pavlicek. Smedegaard up to 4th, Pavlicek 5th. Britain and Haas here 6th and 7th. These are the 2 closest people on track at the moment, apart from Camaletto, who's got Sergio just behind him, the same kind of distance.
And Nigel Wood further back, who's right on the tail of Schilling.
But these 2 have been swapping places for a lap or 2 now. So we'll just see how Max deals with Jim again. You might remember Jim from such episodes as Crew Chief, and Crew Chief. He is the man. Oh yeah, pour us one, mate.
It's just Durham Brew. It's not anything alcoholic.
Made from Gerders.
That's offensive, that is.
That's the advert, mate. They made it, not me.
I know, with the accent I was worried about.
Couldn't get away with it now. So Max's car looks a bit battered, but sticking with Jim, just as Jim stuck with him when Max passed him.
Bergsma right on the back of Britain as well.
The other Britain.
Yep, we've got Briton and Britain. Clive and Jim, ladies and gentlemen. It's like Rosie and Jim, but...
No, that's a pretty decent description. Oh,
Yeah.
Clive dumps it deep into the bus stop. Bergsman takes advantage of that round the outside. Doesn't get
But
drive, though.
Clive looks like he's got the drive a little bit. Whether Clive had a push to pass to use out of the turn, I'm not
I
quite
just wonder
sure.
if Bergsman got stuck on the curb there as he came out of there.
Might have had to have just been a little bit easy on the throttle just to make sure he didn't spin it.
Yeah,
Although
but he does keep the place.
Clive looking twitchy in that BMW. Nice little touch as well. The big wing supports that you can see on the cars this year, or last year, kind of. Designed actually by Audi to stop the cars yawing quite so much with the DRS open. But the BMWs with a lovely touch on it saying #ForzaRallyes after Zanardi's hand cycle crash last year. Obviously he's doing better now and is awake from his induced coma. But obviously we hope he gets better.
Yeah, the livery is
Soon.
obviously from 2020, so that would have been extremely pertinent at the time. Zanardi was a
Well,
great...
he's been a BMW driver for a long time now, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Pretty much since
Do you know
crash
what?
at,
I still remember that crash in America. It still goes through me every time I think about his name and just how bad that was, and for him to come back into anything like he is now. Admittedly, after his hand cycle crash last year, but fair play to the guy. He's just made of metal, and he's amazing.
that guy's invincible. Like, he's
And
got
such a nice guy as well. Back in F1, he was such a nice guy.
obviously completed the Daytona 24 last year, didn't he? With BMW, and they had full hand controls set up, and it was apparently really weird for a couple of the other guys that were with him because they're not disabled like he was. Obviously used to just getting into the standard M8 GTE car, and one of them saying, like, it's the one time I've been really claustrophobic in a race car because you've got all this stuff that you're just not allowed to touch because it will do stuff that you're not quite aware of. You see Smagna guards on the end of Mora and going up the inside of Mora into Le Combe.
Yeah, he's got his DRS deployed there, so that gave him that extra oomph up the straight. Easy passing in for Smedegaard.
Probably using push to pass as well. Haas all over the back end of Britain going into the same turn. Well, all over the back end, all over the door more like.
If he can just get this turned in, he's done it.
In front of the Britain. That's helpful, isn't it? As they go through Mounty and down towards Rivage, Bruxelles, whatever you want to call it.
The racing's been so close, we've almost forgot to do the admin this time, but if you are sat there watching this and enjoying it, please remember to give us a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed already to the RRLeagues channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. Get more of this, all 8 races of the DTM series this season, along with everything else we do. And if you're really interested, pop along to rrleagues.com, join the forum, join our Discord, and join in the chat as well.
Absolutely nicest bunch of guys that you can come across.
Apart from us two.
Well, yeah, obviously. I hear the new admins are a bit...
Well, I've heard that.
Yeah,
I think I started the rumour, to be fair.
Yeah, well, there we go. Yeah, no, nice group of guys, always willing to help out, show you what's what, and obviously very competitive group, as we see after, just in terms of obviously very early to be thinking about anything about the championship, but with Smedegaard getting past Mora, both TSR Sweden guys up on the as Mora actually spins it out of the source. Looks like he's got a bit of a gap to spin it round in. Looks like he'll recover before Haas and Britain get to the scene. But they'll be concerned coming around the corner in a cloud of smoke. Then Britain looking to make advantage of that, although squirreling heavily.
They're both late on the brakes into the bus stop there, and Max pushed Jim really onto the infield there. They both struggled to get through the bus stop. More like a defensive
and there's 3
block.
wide into Eau Rouge. Oh, jeez. Camaletto, no, sorry. Black car, I believe that was Schilling. No, not Schilling.
Schilling's in the Rosberg car, only the silver and black one. That much I do know.
Not quite sure who it was. I think it was a back marker. It might well have been Hindle, actually. Yeah, it was Hindle. In the Akrapovic Audi.
See Bergsma still fighting with Clive Britton back here after their tussle a few laps back. Those two are still stuck like a blue tack. Always coming apart, but always getting back together again. Bergsma in the Audi, Britton in the BMW. Goes very wide there. Just pulls it back out. Is it still no name? What did you say it was called? X earlier? X, yeah.
Yeah, they finally named it after Outroar because of... Well, they changed the name of Rivage to Bruxelles, and it's like, hang on, you've renamed one of the most iconic turns in motorsport and not given the one after it a name. Like, I've got to call it X. First off, you change the name of Rivage to that of a Sprout, and then you don't name no name. It's also
Could be a capital city.
It's all maybe. It's also known as Speaker's Turn. That's kind of what it's known in the sports car community, because from the old speaker tower, like PA tower,
right,
on the pit straight, the two things you can see is Eau Rouge and speakers, and turn 9, the left-hander, because of where the hills are. So that, like, you'd lose them as they went down the Camel Straight, and that's when you'd pick them back up again.
Sorry, mate, just got a bit of an audio problem for me, so if you can handle it for 5 seconds for us. Sorry about the audio here, guys. We've had a few technical issues on my side of it. That's why we've dropped that byte. I'm just watching Haas here, still behind Britain. or rather now behind Britain. Sorry, in all of that, I must have missed Max going behind Jim. Further back, we've got Gede, Sergio and Manojlovic. Manojlovic still driving that BMW, even though it's had more incidents than... oh, incidents and accidents. He looks like he's getting around the outside of Sergio here. As they come through Blanchimont up to the bus stop. Is he going to save that? He is. So Gede, Manojlovic and Sergio there on the straight as they come down through up to La Source. Out in front, you've still got Damien de Grasse, 18 seconds currently ahead of Tom Kohonen. Smedegaard in third, Pavlicek in fourth now, ahead of Mora. Only 2.5 seconds though. Sorry, 2.5 seconds behind Smedegaard, 10 seconds ahead of Mora. That's my bad, sorry. Mora's got Britain and Haas. That battle's still raging. You can see there. Arella, Camaletto, Gede, Manojlovic. Oh, Manojlovic again sideways as they go up there through Lecombe. That car is... he's driving without a care today in the Mania. Further back, Schilling and Binnersley. Looks like they're getting their act together. Schilling goes very deep in there. Lets Binnersley have that spot very easily. So Schilling down now to 23rd. Fillingham behind him after his incidents today. Out of the race, we've got Bash Shilstra, Badcock, Pelicano and David Dorr was an early retiree. It's just... seems to have the only set of headphones that won't turn on while they're on charge. So just a minute and a half to go. Bit of smoke there coming out of there. Britain, Haas. Drive through it. Where's de Grasse on this lap? Are they going to get one more lap out of this? So yeah, de Grasse is going to come through and round. It's about a minute from this point on the track, so we should get one more lap after this. Haas on the outside of Britain there. Jim holding it together. You can see Arella just there in the background joining the battle. So 6th, 7th and 8th within a second now. You can see, there you go, de Grasse is through. So we've got 20 seconds on the clock. So this will be the last lap now. De Grasse 18 seconds ahead of Korhonen. 6 seconds back then to Smedegaard, Pavlicek, Mora, Britain, and then obviously Haas and Arella in this battle here. So these guys will have this end of this lap and one more to go. Camaletto 6 seconds behind these guys, and Gede rounds out your top 10. You can see there as you go down the tower, Manojlovic, Sergio, Bergsma, Britain, Cassell, Magyar, Rossi, Lecken, Rizov and Greg Metcalf down in 20th. Nigel Wood, Binnersley, Simon Fillingham, Schilling, Simmons and Hindle's your last runner. The last four there have retired. So here we go. Last lap. Britain, Haas, Arella. Let's just jump on board with Arella. Has anyone got any push to passes left? Looks like Arella's got his. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Is Max going to make it? No, he's not. Oh, that's Clive in the background. Is it Jim Sawyer in the background? It is. Oh. Gide and Manojlovic as well, tapping each other. But Damien de Grasse, obviously this race has been apart from his drive-through, has been fantastic and comes through for the first victory of, I'm sure, what will be quite a few in this series. Damien de Grasse wins at Spa Francorchamps round 1 of the DTM Championship. Well done, Damien. Well played. You can see Tom Cohonen there just coming down at the start-finish straight. He'll take second. Good performance from Tom. And there in the background you can see Smedegaard as well. Marcus Smedegaard comes over for third, with Pavlicek right behind him there in fourth. Good racing from those two. Well done, Magnus. Well done, Radek. Morris about 15, 16 seconds back with Haas, Arella and Camaletto. Oh, sorry. Talking of the three together there, but they weren't. Mora crosses the line. Haas and Arella just about to come through. It looks like Haas is going to... Oh, gets pushed a little bit wide there. And it looks like he's got over the line ahead of Arella. But we'll wait for the final race room adjudication. So Mora, Arella, Haas, Camaletto is through. Britain's through in 9th in the end. Gide takes 10th from Manojlovic. Sergio Bergsma, Clive Britton through there in 14th. Cassell in 15th. Magyar will be 16th as he comes through the bus stop chicane there. Here comes Dusan Magyar. Well played, sir. Rossi, you can see there, just got Marcel Lecken just behind him, but he'll hold on for 17th. Decent race for Valentino today. Metcalf's just 6 seconds behind these two. You'll just see him coming through there. There you go. He's got Rizov just behind him and Nigel Wood just behind him. So they're all through, and Binnersley in 22nd. So there's your overall standings. Damien de Grasse, easy, well, not easy winner today, but consistent winner today. Some great lap times. Fastest lap of a 2:03.1 in the end. Tom Cohonen second. Marcus Smedegaard there takes third. Two teammates there. Pavlicek in fourth. Mora fifth. Arella down in sixth with Haas, Camaletto, Jim Britton, and Fabian Gide rounds out the top 10. How Nemanja managed to sneak 11th today, I don't know. That car's had more incidents than I don't know what. Sergio in 12th, Andre Bergsma 13th, Clive Britton, you saw him battling until that incident there, down in 14th. Cassell 15th, running fairly well up the field until a few incidents. Same with Magyar, Rossi, Lecken, Metcalf and Rizov. That's your top 20. There you go. Right, I'm just going to drop into the Discord so you can all see the chat that we've got going on. While I try and sort out this bloody audio. So bear with me for 1 second, guys. I say I'm going to get the Discord in. It doesn't even want to show you that. So let's try that again. Right, and guys, unfortunately, we're having, as you can see, a few technical issues here getting everything going, so we might just have to leave it there, I'm afraid. I do apologise for that. We know we don't like to see the chat afterwards, but we're just going to have to perhaps leave it there today. So, great racing there from DeGrasse. Awesome performance. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time with the next race, which is, I should know this by heart, but I don't. Where are we? Events, here we go. Yeah, round 2 from Monza. That should be an interesting race. Bit easier than the effort they've had today at Spa. And just so you know, that'll be on the 24th of January. 7th of Feb, Motegi. That's always good for a lot of racing. That'll be hard work with these cars. Suzuka will be even harder. That's the 4th round. Sepang we go to, round 5. Round 6 is at Dubai Autodrome. Round 7 at Silverstone, and we finish off at Brands on the 18th of April. So look forward to that. Sorry we can't get you to jump into the chat, but hey, yeah, sorry about that. I'll just give it one more go, see if we can get it to work. Nope, not having it. Okay, we'll leave it there. Guys, thanks for watching. Like I said, if you haven't already, give us a thumbs up. If you like the video, appreciate all your time you spent today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll thank Ethan after the race, but I'll thank him on stream now for his help today and apologise for dropping him for the last 10 minutes of the commentary. And sorry if I spoilt your last 10 minutes there. Just a few battery issues with the old broadcasting equipment. But we'll get it sorted out for next time. Hopefully we'll see you there. Take care, and again, thanks very much for watching. Cheers now.